In the heart of Scandinavia, bordered by forests, lakes, and long stretches of coastline, lies Sweden, a nation that today is celebrated for its innovation, equality, and high quality of life. Yet, Sweden's journey to this position was not built overnight. It is the result of centuries of transformation, from a European military power to a modern welfare state, carefully shaped by visionary leaders and a culture that values consensus, fairness, and resilience. In the 17th century, Sweden was a kingdom with ambitions far greater than its size. Under kings like Gustavus Adolphus, it became a major military force, controlling large parts of Northern Europe. But centuries of war drained resources, and by the early 19th century, Sweden had lost much of its territory, including Finland, to Russia. The Napoleonic Wars left the country weakened, and in 1814, a union was formed with Norway, bringing political stability, but also forcing Sweden to turn inward and focus on development rather than conquest. The late 19th century was marked by industrialization and hardship. Many Swedes emigrated to America in search of better opportunities. Domestically, economic modernization began to take root, with advances in manufacturing, forestry, and mining. Leaders like Louis de Geer, often called the father of Swedish parliamentarism, pushed for democratic reforms that would eventually pave the way for universal suffrage. The 20th century became the turning point. Sweden remained neutral in both world wars, sparing its cities from destruction and allowing its industries to continue operating. This neutrality, while sometimes controversial, enabled Sweden to emerge from the wars with an intact economy and the capacity to help rebuild Europe. Post-war politics saw the rise of the Social Democratic Party, led by figures like Per Albin Hansson and later Tage Erlander, who served as prime minister for an unparalleled 23 years. Hansson's vision of the Folkhemmet, or the people's home, became the philosophical foundation of Sweden's welfare state, a society where the state ensures security, equality, and opportunity for all. Through the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, Sweden expanded public health care, education, and housing programs, while also fostering strong labor unions and cooperative agreements between workers and employers. The nation became a global symbol of social democracy in action. But prosperity did not mean immunity to challenges. In the 1970s and 80s, economic downturns, inflation, and a banking crisis in the early 1990s tested Sweden's resilience. Leaders like Ingvar Carlsson and Göran Persson responded with economic reforms, balancing market-oriented policies with the preservation of the welfare state. This pragmatic approach allowed Sweden to recover and adapt to a changing global economy. Sweden's commitment to innovation and education fueled its rise in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Companies like Volvo, Ericsson, IKEA, and Spotify became global icons, supported by a society that invests heavily in research, technology, and creativity. At the same time, Sweden maintained its deep cultural values of egalitarianism and environmental stewardship. Figures like Olof Palme, the charismatic prime minister assassinated in 1986, left a lasting imprint on Sweden's identity, advocating for human rights, disarmament, and social justice both at home and abroad. Tragedy struck at times, from Palme's murder to the sinking of the MS Estonia in 1994, which claimed over 800 lives. Yet each time, Sweden responded with reflection, reform, and a commitment to openness. The early 2000s brought new challenges: immigration, integration, and debates over national identity. But Sweden continued to rank high in global measures of happiness, equality, and quality of life. Leaders like Fredrik Reinfeldt and later Stefan Löfven navigated economic crises and social change, while maintaining Sweden's reputation as a stable, forward-thinking nation. Today, under Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, Sweden remains one of the world's leaders in renewable energy, gender equality, and innovation. Nearly all of its electricity comes from hydro, nuclear, and wind power. The education system is free, healthcare is universal, and the gap between rich and poor remains among the lowest in the world. Sweden's cities, from the waterways of Stockholm to the university hub of Uppsala, are vibrant with culture, while its vast forests and northern wilderness offer an unmatched connection to nature. Sweden's rise to one of the best countries to live is not the story of sudden wealth or easy victories, but of steady, deliberate nation building. It is the story of leaders who envisioned a society where prosperity is shared, of citizens who value cooperation over confrontation, and of a culture that sees equality not as a goal to be achieved once, but as a principle to be protected always. From the days of empire to the digital age, Sweden has proven that strength comes not just from economic power, but from the trust between people and their institutions. And in that trust lies the quiet, enduring success of a nation that has built a home for all its people.